Yo. What should I watch, guys? Come on, let's pick. Let's go see. What should we watch? Girl Riz is not real. Logan Paul ditches Lele Pons. Wedding? Or what? I think that's what they were talking about last time. Reacts to Kai Cenat documentary. Should we watch the Kai Cenat documentary? But he did not do it. I know he's the biggest wuss. Whoosh. Hold up. Gotta get my mind right. You feel me? Alright, so what happened to FaZe Clan? Seabass. Whoa. You know who Seabass is?
Hey, it's Sebastian of FaZe Seabass, and I know a lot of people on the internet right now want to know what's happening with FaZe Clan, or more importantly, what happened to FaZe. And as our longest tenured
Bro, you don't know what's happening with FaZe Clan right now, man. FaZe Clan members coming out. Well, first one was FaZe Rain. He had a whole outlish break. Pretty much, he had a heartbreak with FaZe in a way, and the only way he coped with it was taking all these oxys and feeling like, yo, I should end my world because my world's pretty much over. It's getting taken over by other people's word, and why should he be alive if he doesn't have to say so? That's why he was gonna end himself in a way that made sense to fans to gather. Like, damn, he painted it on him, and he's done. Like, because like he had that motivation and stuff. And this guy, he had the same type of motivation of what's that word he had the same building mind, of like, yo, what's the future gonna build? Just building, just like Tico, and just like every other FaZe member that doesn't have that much say so anymore.
employee for over 12 years. I'd like to give some of my perspective on that to a conversation that isn't necessarily the best one to be had in public, but obviously is. And so if we're going to talk about it, I think people deserve to hear a little bit more behind the curtain. The unfortunate part of doing it this way is that even though I'm going to have to put the company hat on a little bit and try and speak in defense of FaZe, that may be seen as me positioning myself on the other side of what someone like Rain or Tico are fighting for, as if I'm against them. And I assure you that could not be further from the truth. I think the unfortunate part is people that want the same thing being positioned to be on different sides is effectively the easiest way I can explain this reality that we're in right now, which is unfortunate for everybody. So I'm going to try and speak on them a little bit differently. I know, obviously, Tico has been speaking out over the last week and Rain over the last few months.
Bro, I've been doing pretty good, bro. I'm right now a personal trainer, so I'm right now freaking trainer. This gym, it's not even a gym. It's like a EMS gym. So I'm one on one. I strap on a suit on someone, and I run them through a workout, and it's pretty cool. It's 20 minutes, equivalent to 3 to 4 hours in the gym. You know, we run you through like I think 2 or 3 workouts a week, depending on your payment of your membership. Pretty dope. It's like a haircut salon place, man. Like it gives that kind of vibe, but when you're in there, it's just like quick, like, and it's just like it's kind of sad because like it has potential to have more. It just needs to be like kind of not updated, but more um, advertised the right way. If that makes sense. Because it kind of gives me like tennis, slash like salon vibes. And it should give me, well, it's crazy because it has that vibe out there, but the inside of the gym room, it's like a, because it's like a mini mirror room, and it's cool because like we just do workouts in there for 20 minutes. 3, 2, 1, let's watch this.
And while the situations may seem pretty similar, they are quite different. So I'm going to try and separate that a little bit. Just for some context for anyone who doesn't know me, I'm sure some of our OGs have seen me in content back in the day. But when I joined FaZe over 12 years ago, I wasn't a content creator. I was here to work behind the scenes to help actually.
Before I was going to say anything, bro, I told you this guy was just, I didn't even know him as like a content creator. He was just known as like a business guy. He's like Seabass. He got the plays, what's coming up next. He knows what we gotta do next, what we gotta work on next, what we gotta focus on next. You be on that. Oh, I should explain. I don't even know him, but I haven't seen anything of him. But I just feel like that's what you can talk about.
Back then, just manage the ILCAMs. And over the last 12 years, I've seen pretty much everything that we've done. In fact, the first member I remember consulting on after I joined was recruiting Tico. And then a year later, I recruited Brain to FaZe Clan. So I've seen just about everything that not only these guys are dealing with, but really everything, all the good decisions and all the bad ones. So I think I have some good perspective on that to offer. So with Tico, the unfortunate reality that he's speaking up about is one that I don't think has been translated properly. So I'd like to get some things on the record, as I just did very clearly first. I 100% agree with him morally and ethically that he should have been compensated more for his historical contributions to FaZe Clan than he has been over the last 12 years. And I'm sure there are conversations that I haven't been a part of where he's been disrespected or been put in a room with someone who doesn't understand, see, or appreciate his value, and he doesn't deserve that. And I know firsthand how much of the personal weight this last few years of trying to resolve these problems has bared down on him. I've dealt with a lot of the same things myself. I think we're actually dealing with closer situations than he even may realize. And I know how hard that is emotionally. And I'm with him. I'm with him 100%. And I want nothing but him to feel that his life's work has been rewarded and awarded accordingly. That said, I do want to give some perspective as to how we even got here with him, and understanding that I do think we, speaking on behalf of FaZe Clan, have been able to give Tico a successful, viable career. I think that this is a guy who obviously was making YouTube videos about, Call of Duty trick shots, just like everybody else. And together with him, with his contributions, we've been able to bring him to America. We've been able to put a roof over his head for over 10 years, including the one he's living in right now that FaZe pays for. I think in the last maybe 5 years, we've brought him probably over $1 million in brand deal related and FaZe participation compensation. And again, I think he deserves all of that. His contributions to FaZe he's one of the few people who can genuinely say, we wouldn't be here without me. There's a lot of people who can say that, but he is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of them. And as FaZe succeeds, he should have been awarded and compensated accordingly. I don't think he was. Maybe 6 or so years ago, after the success of the FaZe house in New York,
like picking on my hair, bro.
After this was starting to really become a worldwide recognized thing, there was a decision that was made to start turning the brand into a business. And that included, some of the OGs sitting aside with someone else who came into the picture, who obviously used to work here, that may have not had everybody's best intentions at heart. And it was split into a pie. And some people got something and some people didn't. Jacob is one of the people, myself, Rug, Adapt, many others, 50 to 100 others who contributed to FaZe in 6 years before that weren't part of that. And it's impossible to be put in that situation. Is this construction going to be a problem? I'm going to try to keep going. It's impossible to be put in that situation as someone like Jacob, especially over the next 6 years, as it turns into, at one point, a company worth $1 billion that his piece of is very small. And there are people coming in as those older shares have continued to be diluted and making way for new investors that aren't contributing, not what he did, aren't contributing really anything. People who don't have our best intentions at heart, people who actually screwed us over, that are now getting more than he ever did. It's impossible to be put in that situation and not feel the way you feel about FaZe Clan. But I do know from working enough in our building and around the industry that when you are met with somebody who, taking that emotion and putting it to the side and just focusing on the facts, when you are met with somebody who is not needing to worry about putting a roof over their head or providing for their family or where the next where their next bill is going to come or where their next check is going to come from to pay for their bills, and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year pursuing their passion, and we're providing them and empowering them the foundation to do that, and they're staring you in the face, a genuine, honest worker who just loves what FaZe is doing and wanted to help out with your marketing degree, and you're being told, fuck you, this isn't enough, I need more, or I'm not XYZ. That's not a tenable situation for anybody. And unfortunately, there have been a lot of those microcosms playing out. A road, there's a fork in the road and the wrong one is chosen for 6-10 years, right? That happens when you meet people online, you create a brand, you don't necessarily split it up in the right way. And there's other interests, and you give people the ability to come into your brand and make a business for themselves, and being jaded about that leads towards you retreating right when we don't show up every day. And I'll be the first to say, while I do come to work for FaZe every day, I wouldn't necessarily say that all of our OGs have been that involved over the last few years. And when we retreat, it allows for other people to come in and make their own decisions. And unfortunately, that's almost always going to end you up in a position like this, where people who want the same thing, which is employees that are fans of FaZe, work here for that reason and want nothing more than it to succeed, are sticking their hand out to someone like Tico and Rain saying, let's work together. But the view on the other side is, you screwed me over. Why would I work with you? And I understand both sides. I unfortunately think that this is a conversation that is better had behind the camera. And we've certainly tried over the last few years. Obviously, I can't speak to every room that they may have been in where it's possible somebody was being far more disrespectful and far more brazen than I would ever.
We heard enough, man. What the hell? What should we see, man? What the hell? The final days of FaZe, bro. They're literally saying FaZe is finishing. I don't think so, but let's see what Adept says.
Feeling about this, yeah. I'm feeling good vibes.
I'm feeling
As I'm in the
good
midst of applying
vibes.
for residency right now, wish me luck, Grammarly has again been a lifesaver with my application.
So I'm sure by now everyone has seen what's going on with FaZe Clan just across the internet, and also what's going on between me and Norden. So let's talk about it. And honestly, I was trying to avoid making this video for as long as I could, but now at this point I feel like I have to speak on it. And I also just have to stand up for myself. So for starters, obviously there's a lot of problems with FaZe Clan. There's a lot of problems inside the company, outside the company, things that if it were up to me, I would handle differently. But it's not up to me. It's never been up to me. There's conversations that happen, decisions that get made that I'm not in the room for, that I'm not a part of. I'm not a founder, right? I've never been a founder. I'm not able to move the mountains that guys like Apex, Banks, Tommy, and Norden can, and that's fine. That's how it's always been. But in my eyes, I'm looking around and I'm trying to think, how can I help? How can I help out FaZe Clan, right? Because I love FaZe. I love this brand. I love what we've built over the years. It's such an important part of my life and has continuously been such an important part of my life for almost 10 years. I've almost been in FaZe for a decade. Which is nuts to even think about. So obviously I care, right? This is something that I'm very passionate about. And like I said, I'm not able to make a lot of these big decisions and shift things like a lot of the founders are, or just other people within the company. All right, there's issues. Where can I help? Like, what can I do? Where can I insert myself where I know immediately I can sort of move things in the right direction? And that's through the YouTube channel. I feel like I know I can go help in that area. So I showed up and I fought to get the YouTube channel, and I got it, and I separated it from everything else going on at FaZe and made it so it's just me and a few FaZe talent that I'm reaching out to, making videos, having fun on the channel again, right? And no one else can touch it. So that's the initiative I took, right? That's me trying to do my small part and helping out FaZe, because I feel like I'm good at that. I also feel like it's important, and I'm getting attacked for it. I'm getting made out to feel like I'm wrong for trying to help in that way. So I guess now this is where I can transition the video into Norden, talking about him and some of the things he said. Because everyone knows how close me and Norden have been over the years, and we always kind of stuck by each other's side. That's why this shit just hurts, to tell you the truth. Genuinely, it hurts. Because we disagreed. We had a disagreement, right? He called me and he was like, yo, I want to make this video exposing FaZe Clan, airing everything out. Fuck it. I want you to be in it. And I said, no. I said, I don't want to do that. I feel like there's better ways we could go to deal with these problems and these issues, more constructive ways of showing up and dealing with these things. And we disagreed. Just to make it clear what we disagreed on, it was the fact that he was going to make a video about it, because I didn't think that was going to help anyone. I didn't think that was the way. I thought there was more constructive ways of showing up and trying to fix things. Because me and Norden have talked about a lot of these problems before, and we share a lot of the same opinions, and some of the stuff he says I agree with. It just was, I just disagree with how he went about it. And that's fine, right? Friends disagree all the time. Friends even argue. They fight all the time. I would have still supported him like I always have. Nothing would have changed. He took it to a really like disrespectful, hateful place, coming at me saying like some very wild shit, you know, shit that he knows about me and that what I've been through, and, you know, sort of using it against me. And I'm not trying to get too into detail. I was like, oh, bet. Like, we have a disagreement, we argue, and you want to take it here with me? After everything we've been through, this is the place you're going to go? All right, bet. We're not talking no more. Nah, it's done. It's a dub. And it didn't stop there. He kept attacking me and my character and what I stand for and who I am. And to tell you the truth, it just hurts. You know, it hurts because it came from one of my best friends, someone who I've been the closest with for the longest. And like I said, we stopped talking up until a few days ago. We actually had sat back on the phone, and I heard him out, and we chopped it up a little bit. And I kind of am understanding where he comes from, or was coming from. But that doesn't make it just disappear. The shit he said really digs deep, and the way he went about it, deeper than he probably even realized. It's hard for me to sit here and imagine a world where like it's all good again. We just pick it back up where we left off. I mean, maybe there's a way we could sit down and chop this up the right way. But I don't know. It's hard for me to even see that right now, because I don't really know how we move forward. Like, I saw his video. We talked on the phone. I appreciate that he's apologetic and he's sorry. But it's still, that shit, it's hard to just like pick things up, right? After knowing like how that got dealt with. I don't know. We'll see where it goes from here. But right now, it's just I can't really sit here and be like, all right, love. Just wanted to come on here and speak openly and freely about how I feel about this whole situation and what's going on from my perspective. So also, I just want to say I love you guys. Thank you to the ones who've been rocking with me and supporting me over the years and constantly showing love. It means a lot more than you would ever know. And
he's pretty much chicken to talk to him. It's kind of crazy, man. Stop being chicken. Roast some eggs. I'm gonna get a hopper.